situation, because in my opening there, I mentioned the consumer price index, which is 9.1% inflation. As regular On the Money viewers know, the producer price index, the cost that producers face, not least the producers in your association, that's more like 15 or 20%. So how much are those food budgets being squeezed, Brad?
Absolutely. So what we've established through our survey is that, in actual fact, our members are seeing food price increases of between 20 to 30% on average across all food categories. So that's across meat, dairy, fruit and veg, things like eggs. So it's a very real problem that's going to only get worse from what we're hearing, and as we head into the autumn with further impacts on wheat prices and oil as a result of the war in Ukraine. So our members are very clear that they need to maintain the quality of the plated meal, apply the school food standards, but we're highlighting there's a very real issue coming up.
So what you're saying, Brad, with the best will in the world, and of course you only represent reputable companies, and of course it's a really big deal for a company to work within our schools, huge numbers of checks and all the rest of it, rightly so. But you're saying with the best will in the world, the quality of what your members are able to feed our kids inevitably is going down.
We're going to have to do an enormous amount of work, as we do every day, but work with our suppliers and our supply chain to look at the items and the ingredients that we can offer to make sure we maintain those meals at a high level and a high quality. What we're saying is that the current levels of funding, as you've highlighted, universal infant free school meals was introduced in 2014 at £2.30. It was increased to £2.34 last year, and just 7 pence extra a meal this year. That's the issue, when actually we need funding at a per meal price, which allows us to buy the ingredients as they currently cost today and to maintain those menus at a high quality. And it's a hot, freshly prepared meal in most schools that children need and deserve, because it helps them learn, it helps their attendance at school, and helps everybody all round.
Let's bring in Dan Paskins of Save the Children. Now, Dan, I pride myself on knowing bits and pieces about various aspects of our economy. I was pretty astonished this morning when I started to read up on the funding for school meals, just increased from £2.34 to £2.41 per meal for the infant age range. We got almost 2 million kids on free school meals, as we've just heard from Nicole Ratliff. For many kids, but particularly that fifth of our pupils, the school meal every day, Monday to Friday, is a really important part of their nutrition. What do you think when you hear that the government is only raising funding for school meals by 3% per meal, when producer price inflation, as we just heard from Dan Paskins, can be up to 20 or 30%?
Well, it's clearly not enough, and this is often the only hot meal in the day that many of the sort of families that we support, many of families on low incomes, many kids will be getting. So it's really important. It's a nutritious meal. It's something which makes sure that children can be healthy, make sure that they're able to learn in the classroom. Getting this right, these free school meals are a real lifeline for children and for families. And for it not to increase in line with inflation is clearly a false economy when you think about the impact it's having on children, when the impact it's having on education. And of course, it's exactly the same squeeze as is happening to families' budgets. Again, people's wages, people's social security isn't going up by inflation either. So it's tough at home. Families are having to cut back. In many cases, parents are having to skip meals in order to make sure their children can have something to eat. And then finding exactly the same at school as well. And the last point I'd like to make is that while it's already the case that around 1 in 5 children get free school meals, there's a lot of children and families in low incomes who are missing out. And the government's own national food strategy recommended that it should be expanded to many more children, nearly 1 million more children. And that's not happening either. So there's children who are missing out from this, but there's also a lot who are not even getting these free school meals.